It's Ellen Nicole Wow, also known as the Masked Majesty. I'm in that mode in my multiverse expression right now, this trajectory. And I'm coming back to speak to empaths, emerging empathic influencers and leaders. And I did a previous segment, and I'll have that linked in the description. So I want to continue talking about the empathic metamorphosis aspect as it relates to empowered, evolved empaths. And the purpose of you being in this time and space and what you're here to provide. The journey that you're coming into as you are taking on a new formation is that you've been being recalibrated. And so metaphorically, I want to talk about the caterpillar to the butterfly, which I use that analogy quite a bit. So taking on a new format, being in a new story, being in a new definition of who you are as an empath, you'll find that this is far greater than what you could have ever imagined. And it's less burdensome in a sense, in terms of you're not taking on so much of the outside world. You're coming more fully into your empowerment and your evolution, which then provides you the grander context of how to be in the world as your own beingness. Okay, this new embodiment. So a caterpillar, every caterpillar has the encoding to become a butterfly. However, every caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly for various reasons. Some of them, never make it into the chrysalis process. And then some who do don't make it out of the chrysalis process. So in the human metamorphosis experience, especially as it relates to the empathic journey, it can be very much the same. Several empaths don't even make it out of the caterpillar stage. And some of them, when they are brave enough in the sense to go into the cocoon experience, then they allow themselves to get distracted and choked out by the different scenarios that happen when they're in maybe the dark night of the soul, or they're in different aspects of the process that just seems unbearable to move through. And so they don't allow themselves to make it through. But for those who go through and allow themselves to come into a new format, you literally do become a different entity within yourself. And that is the part that the world is waiting on, is ripe and ready for. That's what they need. And when you allow yourself to be in that format, that's when you find that your new superhuman potential comes forth in ways far beyond what your mind can even wrap itself around. You start really living from your true encoding. And I have works around this, and I will have information within the description. So allowing yourself to come into a new format, right? And being a new trajectory of life, a new experience, is going to cause you to have to surrender the current identity that you have been accustomed to for so long, and also the different labels and characteristics of traditionally what an empath is supposed to be like. The new definition format is different. It's even different than the empowered and the evolutionary content that you've been in, context that you've been learning about possibly over the years. These different superpowers that empaths have, I'm telling you, is something far greater than that. The ones that are being shown are just minuscule compared to the vastness of the source pathic energy that wants to come through. And so my higher calling is I am a superior source pathic expression. So my empathic embodiment is very much one with that higher source. And so that was unique to my encoding so that I could be the demonstrator of this higher expression and demonstrate a trajectory that is beyond expansive, nothing that's ever been seen before or played out. So my experience does play out in a very multidimensional way, for sure. But my empowerment during this time is that you do have what it takes to make it through. And some individuals who are empaths, they're going to stay in rebellion and resistance, and you have to leave them where they are at this stage. I have a work around that in terms of let them crash and burn and rise as, as Phoenix themselves. Let them be responsible because they want to do things themselves. You don't have time for that, not at this stage of the game. You have to be in your full empowerment and full embodiment. It is time for you to really rise and be an eagle and to soar to new heights. Things you've never thought about, how you're going to show up, it's going to start coming through. You can't be afraid of that. You have to allow yourself to lean fully into the metamorphosis and come into a new form so that you don't forfeit yourself in the middle of the journey, all right? So I want to, as I did the last time in the other session, is to be able to provide some supernatural support. And so what I'm doing right now is being present, and I am infusing the space with this higher form of awareness for you in terms of this new power. And also sending forth well-beingness for you, higher well-beingness, right? So that you're fully supported on all levels holistically as you are metamorphosizing, evolutionizing so that you can fully be optimized in terms of this experience. You are a new creation. So I'm holding space, expansive space for everyone so that you are fully engaged and present in this newer context that is so you. I'm going to invite everyone to take a nice deep breath, please. Okay. So being within your metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is different for everyone, even though logically we see things from the caterpillar to the butterfly play out in a very linear way. It's very different in the human experience, especially with the empathic aspect of it. So with me saying that, I talked about last time about being in your empathic individuality. And this is where you have to be really fully present with that, because your new leadership mission or influential mission will start to emerge and will start to take place. You'll get wisdom and insight around the right inspired actions that you need to take. But before getting to that point, there is the embracing of the embodiment in terms of this expanded, empowered, evolutionary, empathic type of experience, which is encased in the new definition format, right? So continue to suspend the old version of you and allow yourself to be in this newer context of an empath. So there's information below, and of course, avail yourself, to that information. I'm looking forward to continuing to empower you, especially through navigating this type of experience, because it's not easy by no stretch of the imagination, but you literally do have to come into a new form now. It is really now or never. And I can't emphasize that. I don't like to operate from a spirit of fear or interjecting fear. This isn't fear-based. This is truth-based. You don't want to be on the other side saying, wow, I wish I would have listened. I wish I would have stepped up. Again, this is not the time to be in resistance or rebellion or even in your head. It's the time to be in flow. You're either connected or you aren't connected. That's the bottom line. You either know source or you don't know source. You're either going to rely and partner and co-create in a sense with source, or you're just going to be out. But I would say you don't have to. Don't forfeit. Don't forfeit it. Because you didn't come into this experience to not only play small, you didn't come here to forfeit. Why have been on the journey if you're not going to see it through? So I know sometimes in these segments I can get a little candid, but this is a call to candidacy, if you will, if that's even a word. It is a call to say, listen, this has to be done. This is required for you to come into your full power, for you to come through the metamorphosis and allow this newer trajectory to fill in accordingly, divine assimilation in a sense, in terms of the new that's, expanding. So it's time to do away with the old. All right. So I send empathic love, infusion of energy to you for the higher context. And I certainly look forward to being back with you soon.